Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kiara, and today I wanted to talk about how to become a flight attendant. So I've written a couple of things down just so I'm not forgetting the process and the requirements, and I'm giving you everything you need so that you can be successful in becoming a flight attendant. So the first thing you want to do is apply. I always tell people just apply to any airline you can try and get. One thing to know is that you are going to need a passport. When I had applied for my job now, at the time I didn't have a passport. I did click that I had a passport because I knew that automatically you saying you not having a passport is like, that's a denial. At least from my experiences when I used to put that I didn't have a passport. It's like they just want you to be ready so that once they call you, you have all your requirements and that's it. All right, so going back to applying, I always hear people complaining that they didn't get the specific job or airline that they wanted. And honestly, if your goal is to become a flight attendant, just apply to any airline. As long as you're getting your foot in the door, that's all that matters. You can apply to a smaller airline, and then once you have gained the experience, you can move on to a different airline. I know a lot of friends that have, started off in a smaller airline and then moved on to the airline that I work for now, or other airlines that are much bigger. All airlines have requirements. So the requirements that I'm giving you now is US based requirements. I'm not sure about other countries because I don't live there, so I'm only giving you the ones that I know from here. The youngest you can start is at 18 years old, okay? I think the airline that I work for is 19, if I'm not mistaken, because I know when I graduated from training, there was one guy who was 19, if I'm not mistaken. But I did do some research, and 18 is the youngest you can start. You do need a high school diploma, and you need to speak English. Obviously, that's one of the main things. It doesn't need to be your first language, you just need to speak English. I know this isn't the 60s anymore, but you do need to be a certain weight and height. And when I talk about height, not necessarily 6 feet tall, but you do need to be able to reach the overhead bin and help people with their luggage, or assist, as we call it, because we don't put people's luggages up, we assist them with their luggage. Anywho, you just have to be able to reach those certain areas. And then as far as weight, when they say weight, I want to make sure that I'm giving you the right information. So you pretty much, it's not like a specific weight, like, oh, you have to be 120 pounds and that's it. No, you just have to make sure that you can fit into the jump seat, and you're able to buckle in with that, one seatbelt. You can't use extensions. One of the other things that you want to work on is your resume. And just make sure your resume is up to date. If you have any customer service skills or experience, you want to write that on your resume, because airlines love when you have customer service experience. So that is always a plus. Also, if you have dining experience, if you're a waitress, if you worked in that type of industry, they really do appreciate that, because once you're in the air, you're giving customer service experience and you're also giving that dining experience. So that is definitely a plus. Okay, so now we're going to the interview part. Once you have been chosen to move forward, your first interview would be a video interview. So you pretty much get online and they ask you a couple of questions. You record yourself. You can't stop, you can't pause, you can't do any of that, which sucks, honestly. Now, I'm just gonna give you a little bit of my experience on when I did it. So the first time that I applied to my airline, I want to say it was a couple of weeks after I did the application online, they sent me a link so that I can be able to do the video. Now, you cannot pause, you can't, fast forward, you can't rewind, you can't do anything. So it's legit from the moment you start to when you end is what you're sending in. Now, one of the questions that I did remember them asking was there a time you went above and beyond for a customer at your prior job and stuff like that? So I want to just let you know that I prepared for this, like legitimately prepared for this. And when I sat down, I'm like, I'm ready, I'm gonna make this happen. I did not answer, it was 4 questions. I did not answer not one question. I mean, the whole time I was like, it's like I had a brain fart and just nothing came out of my mouth. It was horrible, and I honestly thought I wasn't gonna get the job, but I'm here today, so I don't know what happened. I don't know who was doing the interviews, but God blessed me. So when you pass your interview, they will give you an interview date to meet face to face. I don't know about other airlines, but at least the airline that I work for, I had to pay for everything. I had to pay for hotel, I had to pay for transportation, the airline tickets. So, transportation as far as like going back and forth to the interview location, they don't pay for anything. It's like you show up there and you're gonna see if you're gonna get the job, and if you don't, well, it is what it is. So that's the only thing that if you're applying, I would just recommend you to save money just in case the application process is a bit quicker. Then at least you would have these funds to be able to pay for your ticket and your travel expenses while you're there. So I'm just gonna give you guys a couple of tips on what to wear for your interview. I recommend heels and business attire. I mean, when I mean heels, I don't mean like this tall. Like, no, you don't want to do all that. You don't want to look like a thought going into the interview. You know what I'm saying? You want to look professional. One thing that I did do was I had my hair down, and that was like a complete no-no. They were like, no, you gotta go back downstairs and go get yourself a hair tie and fix that. So I thought I was looking cute, and I'm like, and she was like, no, honey, put the hair up. So, make sure your makeup is subtle. If you want to put some red lipstick, it's super cute because we're allowed to wear red lipstick. Make sure that your nails are on point. You don't want to have no crazy color. You just want them to have a good first impression of you, which counts and is very real. Last but not least is training. Now, some airlines have training for a couple of weeks. My airline, I only went for 4 weeks. So now I did get paid for that training. I know some airlines don't pay you for that. Sorry if they don't. If they do, cool. It's not something, huge, but it is good for the month. So definitely, once again, if you've passed through all that, just make sure that you're saving money, because once you're out of training, you're going to the base that they've given you, and you need to be ready and prepared. So that's just a little tip that I would tell anyone who's applying. Just make sure you're saving money, because you're going to be spending while you're there. So FYI, I recommend everyone knowing their shit. It is very, very stressful during training, at least for me. I mean, honestly, I don't personally know not one person that has said that training was easy. I mean, they compact all that information in 4 weeks, so it's very, very stressful. When I was in training, it's not like I went out, I didn't hang out, I wasn't drinking, I wasn't doing all that, because I feel like they're watching you always, So my thing was that I was there to study and I was there to pass. Because let me remind you that if you do pass the face-to-face interview, you get a contingency letter, meaning that you still have to pass training in order for you to get this job. So, you know, I'm giving you this letter now, but it's not like guaranteed. It's all up to you. So that's one thing you want to take into consideration. Just pretty much doing your work, studying, getting together in groups, but not people who like to around. Like, you need people that are really there to, you know, get the job done. I mean, me personally, I am not great at multitasking, so I can't, you know, I can't juggle multiple things at once. So if I'm there to study, I need to, you know, focus on studying. And you have, I want to say you have off like 1 or 2 days out of the week. And I feel like within those days, if you feel like you can grasp everything, then go ahead and party. But at least just my opinion, I would recommend you just saving the party stuff for later. You're gonna have a lot of that once you become a flight attendant. So guys, as I am recording this video, I am actually in San Juan, Puerto Rico. My layover is 33 hours and it just sucks because everything is closed. You can't go to the beach. They have a curfew. So it's like now I can finally have these long layovers and now you can't do anything, which sucks. But yeah, if you guys liked my video, just please hit the like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, just, you know, comment below, DM me, whatever you need to do. I am here to answer your questions, and I hope to see you guys later. Bye. So if we're talking about UA, if we're talking about UAs, why am I saying UAs? It's US.